People want to kill me. And they tell me so.
Who said they want to kill you? I said we all deserve to die, Amber. Even I, Mrs. Hurd, even I.
They tell me that.
And none of that's fucking.
Nobody said they wanted to kill you. I just said we all deserve to die.
I don't know if that's because of the wall.
Why? Because it's a hole in the world, and a great bad pit is full of people that full of shit, and the vermin of the world that inhabits
It
it.
makes me think of him every single day that I live.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Exactly. Get her, Camille. Get her ass.
Yep. If you want to ask the question. And she's like, get it, Camille.
Amber, how did Mr. Depp's statements and threats to you that you were discussing,
Not
Yeah,
Depp's statements.
how did those
That's
statements
statements.
manifest themselves today?
Nina Rogers.
I'm so sorry. Was I on the phone?
In
628,
harassment,
2013.
humiliation,
I did not mean to
a
yell.
campaign against me that's echoed every single to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me.
Come on. One
My
tear.
friends have to live with a
One
set
tear.
of unspoken rules.
One
about
tear.
how to not
One
scare me.
tear.
Objection, hearsay.
Exactly. Thank you, Camille. Hearsay.
It's outside.
Unspoken rules
Outside.
Code
Code
rules.
rules. They're
about how to
unspoken.
not touch me.
Okay,
Not
that's
just
fine. I think she's got a pretty bad UTI.
with these sets of rules that I have to follow,
Okay.
a panic attack or a triggering event where I relive the trauma, even if I'm training to do my movie, for instance, if I'm training for Aquaman.
I don't believe
Trigger
you.
happens, I have a meltdown and have to deal with that. The crew I work with have to deal with that because of the damage I walk around with every
So,
single day.
Johnny attacked you in the beginning of your career. Is that what you're saying? Because your meltdowns happened in other movies.
Yesterday.
Exactly.
I touched you yesterday.
Painful.
I don't doubt that's
It's
true.
humiliating for any human being.
I don't doubt that's true either.
It probably is humiliating because you're getting caught up in your fucking lies, you fucking whore. And you are.
Even though the family promised that I deserve this,
Yeah,
and promised
that's where
to
the
do this,
objection
I don't
comes in.
deserve this.
I'm a human. Are you human?
The statements.
Prick your finger. Let me see you bleed.
She's gonna charge her.
You, sir, true sir.
Johnny has listed
Welcome to the grave. I want you bleaters.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
Yes. Move to
Torture
strike.
speculation.
Move to strike.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Amber,
Look at her.
Depp Waldman stated
Come on, hold it for a little bit longer.
ability
As to
She's
answer.
already quit
to
crying.
do charitable.
I know, she never was
Objection,
crying.
Got a man. 2:30
I
tonight.
would. The only reason that
Hold
people
on.
like
Get.
Dr. Kearney can sit up here on the stand and say,
Oh, really? Are we? Don't say her fucking name.
have interest.
Objection,
Because I'm not-
non-responsive.
Yep.
Exactly. Hold on.
Mr. Depp, the long-winded response. Yes.
You didn't object. That's
It's
the
because I found a
difference.
solution to that pain. I woke up every morning with panic attacks and trauma until I realized I could do something with it.
Really? Yeah, I can lie about it. That's what I can do with it. I can lie
To turn the things that
and
I
have no
did to
tears.
me, my life
Because I was told on that I cannot fake crying.
finding a voice for other
And
people.
everybody knows
I'm
that's
not
true.
trying to present
Because you
myself
can't fake crying. You're not good at it.
relief.
DEFCON red. DEFCON fucking red.
But I've lived
Yes,
through
sir.
to advocate for others, to bring light to these issues, to give a voice to people who don't have the voice and the platform that I have. And while I would not wish this situation on my worst enemy, if it gives a voice to someone who doesn't have it, but I now,
This is
as
her
I stand
$100
here today,
million
can't have a
performance.
career.
It is.
I can't even have people
Come
associated
on.
because of the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
How about a round of applause? A standing ovation.
Threats to it yesterday either.
What other threats have you endured since the Depp Waldman
Calls for hearsay. It all calls for hearsay.
I receive hundreds of death threats
If you drink a vitamin, that's at one
regularly,
time
if
a
not daily.
One time a day.
Thousands since this trial has
For a
started.
month.
People mocking
You got 'em, dun dun dun.
My testimony about being assaulted.
Come on.
Making fun of myself.
Objection relevant.
Oh, you already stole from Riri. Why not? My bad.
Talking about what's going on social
How about a round of applause? A standing ovation.
The headphones work better if you plug your headphones in.
Yeah, I want people to hear what this bitch is saying.
Okay.
The lies. The lies.
Painful.
Everybody knows that.
It was humiliating. I hope no one ever has to go through something like this.
Yeah, if we don't mess with you, we won't have to go through it. Come on, come on. Is it
You're
coming out?
irrelevant, girl. You're irrelevant.
You're a nondescript. You're irrelevant.
For years now. And I thought he would after
Objection
2020.
non-responsive.
You're a whore that tried to sleep her way to the top. You're a fraudster that was an abuser.
watch the internet. I don't know how this is helping.
That's who you are.
Just remember,
Protecting him.
Because if you step on the little people to get to the top, when you're at that top, you're going to be up there by yourself and miserable.
Johnny has taken enough of my voice. I have the
You
right
stepped on your ex-girlfriend or wife, whatever she was, because she was more famous than you because she was a painter. Once you realize, okay, I can go to the next level, you got Johnny.
to own my story and my
You stepped on Johnny to get to Elon and James Franco.
I hope to get my voice back.
And now you don't have none of
No,
them.
no voice.
It's all I want.
Your voice is a lie. You're a fraud. You're a nondescript. You entangled
Ah,
with
Camille.
rich people. Get her, Camille.
name calling is not. By the way, people receiving threats and harassment is never okay. You're going to.
I didn't threaten her. I just said
Put this very
we all deserve to die. Even you, Mrs. Hurd, even I. That's all I said. I never threatened her. I never said I wanted to kill her.
right. If I pronounce that wrong.
Never said I wanted to kill her. I was just quoting my favorite part in the movie.
It might be that Amber wanted to have her moment that Johnny Depp had yesterday. He had a moment at the end of his direct examination before his cross-examination where he said why he was going through this. And
Yep.
I tweeted it
Before
out. It was
crying, get
a
me
fairly
there.
powerful statement. So with this, I think she wanted, the staring down the jury is odd for me. I think she wanted to have
Look at
a
her.
moment of saying, I
But
want
that
my
face
voice
is
back.
fixed. It's fixed. She's not sad anymore. She's not passionate about what she's saying anymore because she thinks that the jury. And if anybody in the jury believes that fake crying,
About it because now we have a very close
they need to reevaluate their reality.
work well for the jury
Like, I understand they don't know what we know,
for testimony.
but if I seen that in person, because I was raised with people that acted like her, and I have seen this in my real life, I will know that she's faking. I don't believe you. And like I said, I have came into this trial blinded. I knew zero bupkis about what happened in Australia. I knew zero bupkis about what happened in the UK trial. I didn't know anything about it until the trial started. So I literally, truly came in blinded. Because I did not follow this before they had it. But how my brain works is if I don't understand something, I have to look it up. And that's the advantage that I got. But I have to try to solve this crime using Amber's words and not mine. And then while I did my own research, right? Yeah, did my own research. I found that, okay, well, you said this happened, but then I see or hear an actual audio from your funky old hoarse voice saying the total opposite. So I say that I'm Team Depp. I came in very biased. I came in already Team Depp because I don't know you. I did not automatically come in on the female side because that's not how I work. I don't automatically believe a female over a male, and I don't automatically believe a male over a female. When I find evidence that my brain interprets to be true, until I find that it's totally opposite, until I find out that it's not true, I believe what me, Marquita, have found. That's all I'm saying. So, you fake crying, it does not have no effect on me because I know it's fake. Because if you was crying in real life, tears will come. Right now, you're whining because you're getting caught. I have seen fake crying in real life. I have seen people cry wolf. I have seen people try to sell wolf tickets to get their narrative across. And guess what? I don't buy wolf tickets or wooden nickels. I'm sorry, I do not. So I have to say, I don't believe you, Amber. The only time I believe you is when you're saying something that you did. You said, I did punch him. I believed you because I have heard the video or I have heard the messages when you taped him without him knowing. And then you taped people that didn't know that they were being taped. And they did not corroborate your story. They actually corroborated Johnny's story because they did not know that they were being filmed. So why would they lie or record it? Why would they lie if they don't even know that they're being recorded? Look at her sister. Look at her. Look at her. Whitney, it's your fault too, you old bitch. She's a victim and she's along with Amber. Look at her.
She sided with her.
Siding with her abuse. She has Stockholm syndrome. That's what she got. I was about to say Munchausen. She probably got Munchausen by proxy too. We know Amber does. Because if you can't fake a bruise, why not give yourself a real bruise, Amber? And you thought that your makeup. Yeah, I feel sorry for the daughter. I think Johnny needs to get $150 million rewarded to him. His 50 that he wants and the 100 million that she wants. So I think that Johnny needs to get $150 million rewarded to him. And I think that he needs to get custody of Amber's daughter. For her safety. That's what I feel like. And then Johnny needs to say, I don't want you to, and I think she should have to pay $100,000 in child support a month. And Johnny should say, I don't want you to pay the child support to me. I want you to pay the $100,000 a month for the next 17 years because her daughter's one. So I want child support for 17 years, but pay the $100,000 in child support to the Children's Hospital, the St. Jude's or wherever, so it can truly, and I think it should be court order that she has to pay $100,000 in child support to Johnny Depp, but not write him a check. I think it should have to be written to Children's Hospital and in care of Johnny, since Amber says if Johnny donates to the Children's Hospital in the domestic violence thing, then Johnny would get the tax break. Okay, well if that's right, good for the goose, good for the gander, then you should write the $100,000 check to the Children's Hospital every month in the name of Johnny so that you can get the tax break, Amber. If that's like in your world, that's how it works. In your world, that's how it works. So why not get a tax break? Write the Children's Hospital every month $100,000. That's how much you should have to pay him in child support for the next 17 years. That's what you should have to pay. And that's a discount. But I think that's what should happen. And I think it should be court order that no other judge can reverse my finding. Because if you go back into court and you try to reverse it, it now doubles. It would now be $200,000 to the St. Jude's kids or to the Children's Hospital for the sick kids and the kids that have cancer, for the dying kids. That's my authentic thought of what should happen. I think Johnny should win because he is the victim. He was being attacked. He got evidence. Some of the evidence cannot come into court because it has other people's voices in it. And one cannot be called into court to testify because he has passed. Jerry Judge has passed. So he can't come in and defend himself against the tape. But he didn't know he was being filmed. The doctor didn't know he was being filmed. Her nurse did not know that she was being filmed. That's just my view anyways. My little rant and rave for today. But that bitch has gotten up under my toenails.
Anything I've been here to say.
Your lies have been
You
exposed
sat here and
multiple
told this
times.
jury that the events in Hicksville started with Mr. Depp getting really upset about a woman leaning on you. Is that correct?
Yes, that's effectively what happened, yeah.
You testified that he actually grabbed that woman's wrist and twisted it, right?
And told her that he could effectively break her wrist by saying he knew how many pounds of pressure, or asking her how many pounds of pressure it took to break her wrist.
But your own witness, your former best friend, Rocky Pennington, she didn't corroborate that, did she?
She did not.
I'm not quite sure what part of that night she saw. There were a lot of people there.
That's fair.
She didn't testify that Mr. Depp grabbed anyone's wrist in Hicksville.
Again, I don't know what Rocky saw. There were a lot of people there that night.
You testified that once you brought
None of
Mr.
them
Depp
saw
back
that,
to your
though.
trailer, he trashed it, correct?
That is correct.
Ooh, hit it
And
wasn't
the
trash.
manager of the Hicksville trailer park was furious that Johnny had wrecked the whole thing. Do you remember that testimony?
That's correct.
Well, we heard from that manager of the Hicksville trailer park, Morgan Knight, on Monday, didn't we?
I'm not quite sure who that guy was or if he had any involvement in this. I know a lot
He
of people
said he was
from
the
Hollywood
manager.
weren't involved.
They want their 15 minutes of
You're
fame.
accusing Mr. Knight of testifying
Falsely.
and committing perjury?
Yeah,
I'm not accusing anyone. I just don't recognize that man.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was upset with Mr. Depp spending time away from him. Isn't that correct?
How would he know? He wasn't there.
You
Get
heard Mr.
her,
Knight testify that
Camille.
it was actually you who was yelling at
there?
Mr. Depp.
Again, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things to be involved in the Johnny Depp show, but he wasn't there.
Ooh,
He doesn't know.
you
And he certainly
bitch.
doesn't know what happened behind closed
If
doors.
he's the show,
Like
he
most
is
people.
the
So you're
star.
calling Mr. Knight
Who
a
are
liar?
you?
does.
I
You're
am
right.
saying he wasn't there.
You're
With
nobody,
everything he
Amber.
testified to,
You're
doesn't
not a
match what
star.
I know happened. But I don't fault him. He wasn't there, so how would he know?
He testified he was there.
That's
He's heard.
gorgeous.
Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar.
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that the trailer wasn't trashed, and that's why you're calling him a liar.
Look at that
He
face.
testified that a
Look at that
light
face.
fixture was broken, similar to the way that
Yes,
Johnny's
other than a light
employees
fixture. That was
testified
the
to,
only
like,
thing that was
closet being
broken, right,
rearranged
Ms. Heard?
and things
Ms.
like
Heard?
that.
The only thing that was broken in the trailer, according to Mr. Knight, was a light fixture. Yes or no?
I realized that he summed it up by saying a light fixture was broken, just the way his security guard summed up him trashing my closet as being rearranged.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after he summed it up, that it was a light fixture.
So everybody's gonna have a rough
That's
time on
non-responsive.
cross on rebuttal.
In the security guard testimony, Your Honor.
I'll allow it, go ahead.
Oh, well then we're getting into
Mr.
all
Knight
of it.
also testified that he charged Mr. Depp only $62 for the damaged light fixture. You heard that,
This is
correct?
gonna be
I did.
In Hicksville, you were the only one that was jealous that Mr. Depp was spending time from other people.
Weren't you?
Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
That is incorrect.
In Hicksville, you were the one who was upset that Mr. Depp wasn't giving you enough attention.
I kind of wish to do.
Ms. Heard, you told this jury that you had no idea the press was going to be at the courthouse when you got your TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
Get her, Camille.
I said I did not have anything to do with it. Yes.
No. I question again. You told this jury that you had no idea that the press was going to be outside after you got the ex-party TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I apologize. I must have misunderstood Ms. Vasquez. I actually had no idea whether they were going to be there or not. When I walked into the courtroom that day, it was completely quiet, still, empty. Even though I had given Johnny's team notice that I was filing the
Objection.
TRO,
Your Honor, this is not
we had no
responsive.
reason to
Move to
believe the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection.
Your Honor, she's trying to answer the question, and Ms. Vasquez is misrepresenting to her what she testified to.
I'll strike the last part as non-responsive.
Pull up the tape where you sit there. Well, they're notified.
In fact, you testified that you were, quote, shocked when you saw press when you were leaving the courthouse.
Also,
yes?
the press wouldn't be inside the courthouse.
You weren't
cameras,
shocked at
they
all,
can't
though, were you?
record inside the courthouse.
Incorrect. It was
You knew the press
horrifying.
would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Heard?
No.
Pull the tape.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016.
Pull up the tape.
I sure did. I'm a
Exactly.
public figure. I brought my publicist in
Proven.
case it
That
blew
she
up.
said
In
she called
case.
and
You actually
told
had
her.
alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very
No,
day,
I did
didn't
not.
you?
No, I did
The
not.
one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face.
I did not call TMZ or any other news source or paparazzi source.
You did call TMZ.
I never did that.
He said yesterday that you're supposed to stop and pause
Hear his testimony?
to show your
Yes.
face.
Yes.
You did that.
Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
She's holding her
That
own
information
cross.
must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
You're not a survivor. You're a domestic violencer. You inflict the pain.
And you acknowledge that the video was released online the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
I believe it was, yes.
But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you
absolutely
learned
not.
about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence.
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video
Danger,
the same day
danger,
you landed
danger.
at LAX. Yes?
Ooh.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm
You
sorry.
heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet
The
video
same
was
day.
15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard
Yep.
him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible. Because
you
it didn't
heard-
come from
And
you
it was
guys.
your tablet, your iPad,
That's incorrect.
that filmed it.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's
Everyone's a liar but
incorrect.
her is their theory of the
And you
case.
heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
And he does, and they do.
the cabinet video you filmed of your
They try to claim Emily's video.
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
No, you
the
didn't.
cabinet video.
Camille asked you about
you
it on
captured
cross. You didn't learn that
after their
yesterday.
husband. Yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video, and yes,
cabinet
that was
video.
my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video
Scammer
that you
behind
on this trial. Did you hear that?
It says, wife copies Amber Heard.
The video that the
Who
jury
does?
that you have seen.
I'm
is
Scammer
complete.
behind.
Right. But the
I don't
one
know who
you
that is.
shot the day before your deposition and divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that the beginning portion
Let
of
me
the
see.
video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony.
I don't know.
Let's just
You're
focus on
asking me
Mr.
to repeat
Tremaine.
his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing
That's
him say
gross.
those words to this jury.
Somebody pooped in their husband's bed.
And you testified that the end
Besides
of the
Amber.
you can see he's seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't
watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you, right, Miss Hurd?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not come to
portions.
me.
Miss
That didn't
Hurd,
come from me.
Miss Hurd, you
You've been
edited
admonished
out
by
the
the judge once,
portions
Miss
that
Hurd.
made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So
If
that
I
only
wanted to
Mr.
delete
Depp
the information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because
I
you
was
knew
leaving
exactly how to
the
do that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to delete it, I could have done a lot more with it.
So you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak this.
I don't.
You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Again, you're very wrong.
Look at Camille, not the jury.
I'd like to show you a picture from that's already admitted into evidence. It's Defendant's Exhibit 799.
We'd love to see it.
Yes.
Oh boy. I love.
I wanted
this
to bring
is
up the
problem
clip where she
with
sat there and admitted that she
They are very limited on.
and notified him beforehand.
Yep.
Camille has all the time in the world.
Restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
It is.
And next to you is the woman named Jody Gottlieb, right?
Yes.
Jody Gottlieb is your publicist.
Look how thin she is. That's just nasty.
Exhibit 13.
I'm not weight shaming nobody. I'm just saying.
This is a picture of you and your friend Rocky Pennington, right?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to admit this photograph.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1316
Published.
This is a picture of you on May 28th, 2016, right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't know when this was taken.
This is the day after you obtained the domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
I have no idea when this image was taken. I did not take it.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture, is there?
Again, I don't know when this was taken, and also I'm outside. I was obviously wearing makeup. I have no idea when this was taken, so I have no idea if I can
Let's
speak to
refresh your
what
recollection.
bruise you can
Let's
see or not.
refresh your recollection about when this picture was taken. Can you please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1315, just for the witness? This is an article dated May 30th, 2016, right, Ms. Hurd?
That's what this, yes.
This article contains the same photograph of you and Miss Pennington you were just looking at, yes?
Yes, I see that.
And the article is entitled Amber Heard Smiles as She Puts Arm Around Friend One Day After Getting Restraining Order Against Johnny Depp. Is that what the title says?
I know that's what the title says, yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish the article with everything but the headline and date and the photo redacted.
Objection, Your Honor. That's inconsistent with the way you treated all of these.
Let's take a look at picture
Put
Plaintiff's
it
Exhibit
in there, huh?
1317.
No.
Oh, no.
This is also a picture
All
of
it
you
was
and
was
Miss
the title that
Pennington
was on the picture, the
28th,
feature, and
2016, isn't it?
today.
I don't know when this photo
Yep.
was taken, but it looks like the same outing as the picture prior.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
1317 in evidence?
There's no bruise on your face in this picture either, right?
Publish it.
I disagree. If it is taken when you represent it was taken, then obviously there's a bruise on my face. It's covered by makeup, as per usual.
Let's zoom out that picture for a moment, please. Thanks.
And the jury's going.
That's
to
Josh
do
Drew in
what
this
they
picture,
do.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
And Miss Pennington
That is correct.
in there too?
And Josh.
Submitted a sworn statement on your behalf in support of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't she?
I believe she did, yes.
Mr. Drew also submitted a statement in support of the domestic violence restraining order.
I believe they both did, yes.
Mr. I'd like to show you Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is already in evidence.
Going through photos. This is exactly what Ron
You've seen
Ford
this
did
photograph
yesterday.
before, right?
I have.
On the second day of your direct testimony, you testified that this
Yep.
was taken in the downstairs of the main apartment on December 15th.
Look at that bottle just neatly placed.
Yes. it
Not
was.
broke.
So it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to Penthouse 5 that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident. Yes?
I'm not quite sure from what incident this is when I see this photo in a vacuum without context.
That was what you gave to the cops.
Can we?
When they walked in, they didn't see that.
Just for what I'm thinking, since they're pulling up the photo, this photo has been submitted twice. It is slightly colored different. With the contrast is different, but it's been submitted twice, going to different events, and they have not brought up that discrepancy yet. Oh, we're a long break, but it's going to come up. So these photos are submitted
Could you
for
please turn
different
first to
events.
page
And
4585?
we've not seen it come up other than on the internet. Those are the same photo.
Okay. I just got a lot of memory. I was down to 54 minutes. Now I'm back, so some videos must have been
Specifically on
clear.
starting on line 16, where it says, "Let's talk about December 15th, 2015."
You said 4585. Oh, I'm on 4485. Sorry, you said 4585.
4585. Line 16.
I'm trying to get to the questions when we get breaks. Tanya said once again, everyone else lies, including her own witnesses. This is what Camille's going to try to point out for the jury. And again, Camille has so much more
Line 16,
time.
where it says, "Let's talk about December 15th, 2015." You see that?
I didn't put that was out yet.
Yes.
I have not seen it yet, but thank you.
And then do you see that your testimony about
Thank you.
December
I'll go
15th,
find it.
2015 follows?
Let's see. It's just the first one.
At closing, it will be Depp, then Heard, then Depp, then Heard. They each have 2 hours. The time today doesn't count against. Heard's team started today with much less time on the clock at just about
Yes.
an hour and 15 minutes.
Now I'd like
Depp's
you to
team
turn
has
to
7
page
hours.
4603,
This is going to be a long, I think, well, a methodical process.
starting at line 12.
I point.
4603.
And that is where this time in this trial is going to play in. Hours
Starting
and
at line
15
12
minutes.
and going on to page 4604, line 4.
Okay.
And do you see that you testified that defendant's exhibit 512, which is on the screen,
Yes,
is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment?
that's correct.
And the main apartment is penthouse 5 in the Eastern Columbia building, right?
No, depends on the main apartment's penthouse 3, generally the same apartment.
Penthouse 5 was where you had your closet.
The downstairs is kind of like a
That's not the question.
studio set up and a reception area. Upstairs is the closet. The mezzanine office was in between.
Alright, so it's your testimony that defendant's exhibit 512 reflects damage to the penthouse 5, that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, right?
I'm just not sure from which incident this is a picture of, since I'm only looking at
Even
a
though your
partial
counsel
floor.
You
was
testified
asking
to
you
it.
questions about December 15th, 2015, and then admitted this picture into evidence
Again,
in
in
relation to that incident.
Sorry, go ahead.
In relation to that incident on December 15th, 2015. This exhibit, defendant's exhibit, you are the defendant, number 512, was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial
No,
picture.
Ms. Heard, you didn't just look at a picture. You looked at your testimony.
You pointed me towards the page and then asked me a question. I haven't actually reviewed it. I don't know if this was submitted in relation to that incident.
Let's pull up, let's actually
jury
pull up
does now.
defendant's 512 and please pull up defendant's exhibit 725.
Whoops, side by side.
Whoops.
The thing is already in evidence.
Whoops.
The questions a lot of the time matter more than the answers. Let's do them side by side.
You've seen this photograph as well.
I have.
There it is.
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016. Didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor. So unless you remove,
That's the same picture.
If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor.
them so we could get context?
Oh.
That's how it's in evidence.
That's how it's in evidence.
Well, metadata next to it is so that
Ms. Hurd,
There's no
Ms.
question
Hurd, there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you would be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I thought you had asked me about it.
It's inappropriate.
No, I didn't ask you about anything.
Thank you, Camille. Get her ass.
Your direct testimony
You can
from
see Chairman
the
Payne
third
looking
day.
at the jury here, Uncle looking at the jury, DUI guy looking at the jury. You can see everybody looking at the jury.
Look at Ruckle. Look at Ruckle.
This direction.
Ruckle's like, I am people game. Look at Ruckle. Yes, give me all of Ruckle and DUI guy. Come on, Rob. Come on, Ruckle.
And that is not
Look. Oh, look at girl. Get him.
testified, but these two parties want to have their say in court, and with that choice comes cross-examination, and wow,
Let's turn to page 4750.
Camille Crossboss
Page
Vasquez.
17 transcript.
She is the cross boss.
4750.
She is the cross boss.
Down is not going to make it less painful at this point, and this is the thing, Camille has the time to go line by line by line that they could not do with Depp yesterday because they simply did not.
I am on DEFCON red.
Typically line 16.
Almost. Def Star red.
You see where Mrs. Adhoff asked you to
Def,
describe for the jury
I guess
place
technically
May
Def
21st,
Star red because I am in the dark.
And do you see that your testimony is reflected about May 21, 2015?
Yes,
It follows?
yes.
Now let's turn to page 4804.
I haven't even looked at it. Thank you all for watching this with me. This is Wild Cross.
4804. Starting at line 14, 5 line 4.
What's
I'm looking at the jury people. I mean, not the jury, but the...
Gallery.
Yeah. I can't see Ruckle that much over Camille's head. Oh, he leaned up. And then that DUI guy's still looking.
725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in penthouse 5.
That's correct.
And defendant's exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
So which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015, or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out.
We didn't do that.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Recognize a portion of a spilled wine on a floor, and I'm supposed to know off the top of my head when you've
Yeah.
lived through 5 years of this stuff? I don't think so. That's not how that works.
No, the best friend's necklace is back. I think my favorite part of Amber Heard's
Which heard at the
cross-examination
beginning of
last
your
time.
cross-examination last week.
Why you need to approach? Why you need to approach?
Camille's killing her.
Yeah, Camille's killing her. Let her die like the wounded Froster she is.
Amber Heard looked at Camille Vasquez and was like, respectfully, I don't think you know how that works. Favorite moment, I think.
You don't know what Camille do in her time out. She might like a little bit of sugar booger or booger sugar.
Cheeky and sometimes dismissive on cross-examination. Amber Heard has too.
It's the exact same picture. She's sitting there arguing.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I can't.
You need to get the metadata on there.
Even though her people is the one that cropped out the metadata, because we don't want Johnny's team to try to come up with excuses. Really, Amber? Johnny's team? Okay.
Even though it's
Common sense is exactly the same. Everything is exactly
Is
the same.
that like when?
Almost a year, almost 6 months different.
No words,
Yeah.
no
In the
sounds
day.
at all coming from you. If I hear one more sound,
So I guess you left it like that for 6 months.
without anybody in the courtroom.
what the fuck did they do in the gallery? Because that can
Ms. Heard, at the beginning of your cross-examination last week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr.
The
Depp,
gallery almost got kicked out.
tell the judge, tell the world that he is a victim of domestic abuse. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that Mr. Depp would tell the world that he's a victim of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I said I find it hard to believe that he would do that knowing that he himself had beat me up for 5 years.
But he has.
No, that ain't what you said. You said, Johnny, tell the world that Johnny, a man that is a victim of domestic abuse. That's what you said.
Divorce agreement
And see who will believe you.
saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain.
Yes, he said that to get you to divorce him.
I was the only one making.
See, look, my computer's going down. My computer said, I'm tired of this bullshit. She's
You didn't
lying.
expect many
I
people to
can't,
show
I
up and
cannot
testify on his
compute.
behalf. That did you?
Incorrect.
What? I
When
didn't
you
hear.
told this jury under oath that you never assaulted.
list. Camille.
When you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Miss Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So you
It's
think
clear by
Miss
this
Moss
courtroom
needs to
how many
come
people
out
will
of the
do that.
woodwork to testify?
Yeah, somebody that he supposedly pushed needs to lie for him. He's not in a relationship with her anymore.
I've heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my violent husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my sister.
But your sister said that you almost
I did
pushed
not
her.
expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was going to kill my sister. by pushing
Okay,
her down the stairs.
but you were going to kill your
You told
sister.
this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in the Pigsville.
Stubborn.
Didn't expect
Well,
the
your
manager to
sister
hit the
stated
property
that you're the one.
night to
That was
testify
behind her.
that wasn't true, did you?
So
Correct.
you
I've been through trials with this
would have been the
man. I
one
know how
pushing
people
it.
will come out and support him.
You told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016. You didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of. Did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever. for
She's
him.
just sticking with the
That's
answer.
his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. Is I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people? will
Oh, so
come
you
out and
admit to
support
writing it now, bitch.
fault his power.
Thank
He's
you.
a very powerful
Got that
man.
on tape.
People love currying favor with powerful.
For committing perjury?
Excuse me.
I was in the- I was in the middle of my lines.
Ms. Vasquez, if you do
Curry.
mind, please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For a
seen people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again.
Commit perjury?
That's
You've seen
why
people
I
commit
wrote the
perjury?
op-ed.
You didn't expect Ben King, the house manager in Australia, to show up from England. He flew from England to testify that Mr. Depp's fingertip was found exactly
Say it
where
again.
said.
From England. But her friends can't fly in from California to Virginia. But Ben came from England, outside the country.
In our house in New York, just right up the road.
Yeah, Ayo's in New York, just up the road.
Keenan Wyatt.
But your friends can't come in
She's asking you
person.
about Ben King.
And
Yeah.
I think the jury can,
Yes.
Ms. Hurd, there's no question pending. You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt, Mr. Depp's longtime sound technician, to show up and
Exactly.
testify that Mr. Depp is not being fed
Mm.
lines through his earpieces,
Mm.
but instead you
Exactly.
Not that it matters much, but of course I did. I know how his employees treat him.
So you
I know how
probably-
his team treats him. Of course I expected that.
So you probably expected Isaac Baruch to come and testify for Mr. Depp, right?
Isaac said things helpful to her too.
I'm not sure I thought about that.
But you
Really?
didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies.
I
did you?
relate to
She's
Isaac
almost
because
done.
he and I are
I
the
have
only
nothing
ones
further.
that cried on this stand.
Oh shit! She just walked out on her. Camille just mic dropped on her and said, "There's nothing further. There's nothing pending." Camille just walked off. Camille.
Bruce felt
Damn.
misled. Who misled him?
Johnny, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for crying. This is horrible.
Really? Never gonna cry because our people are asking us questions.
On your face. Is that true?
Absolutely not. I didn't need to.
I was just ending with
Did
that.
you ever fake an injury caused by Mr. Depp?
No.
I would
Is
end with
any
that.
of the evidence of your injuries that has been put to the jury in this trial fake?
No, absolutely not.
And to the extent that there may be some confusion over when a picture of spilled wine was taken, why might that be?
Objection.
Is there so
Lack of
many-
foundation.
Overruled. Because there's so many incidents of violence. There's so many pictures. There's so much evidence.
There's so many pictures.
Most people don't have this kind of evidence for years. 5 years. And when I was saying that to Johnny on the phone in that recording, I was saying for years this has been going on. And I have pictures. We have
You didn't
text,
say that.
Everything. Normally you don't get this amount of evidence. That's what I was pointing out to Johnny. It would be crazy to try to challenge this in this way. It's crazy. It's easy to not know the context of a picture of spilled wine because there are so many.
more important details, pictures, and also
What's more important? What's
so
more
much
important?
I didn't photograph, so much I didn't have the presence.
Objection,
time
non-responsive.
We're gonna
Abuse you
decide
physically.
if there's mountains of evidence.
Yes.
Verbally,
Yes.
emotionally,
Yes.
psychologically.
Yes.
Nope.
How did the threats that Mr.
You
Depp
should have
made
asked
against
about
you
sexual abuse.
individually years ago resemble what you've
No, he
endured as a
brought
result of death?
physically.
Yep.
He didn't
Beyond the
ask
scope
that.
of
He didn't
question.
act physically or sexually. And that's what
Johnny
Johnny's saying.
promised
I
to
never attacked her
promised
physically or sexually.
That he'd ruin my career, he'd take my life from me. Death was the only way out. And if I got out, this is what he'd do to me. He'd make me think of him every single day. He promised me global humiliation. You saw those texts?
You did this.
What he couldn't do, the work of one individual, meaning Johnny, when he was inviting a disgruntled employee over for a spot of purple to fix my flabby ass up, that revenge that he sought back then was just what he could do as an individual. Calling
You're
me
a nobody.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
Exactly. Get her, Camille.
Hearsay, non-responsive.
It's not all evidence. It is non-responsive.
Ms. Hurd, how did those things that you just testified to that Mr. Depp did, how did those resemble what happened to you after the Depp
Evidence
walled
away
you
from
from
evidence
covering
closing here.
Those are
I don't
This
know
is
why
not
he
a
didn't
lack of
ask. He
foundation.
needed to ask that, and I don't know why she didn't ask.
Thank you, Your Honor.
those are just an echo of what I'm living through today. It's like what I'm living in right now, what you see in this courtroom. is
You're
an
a
echo.
liar.
This courtroom and the other courtroom
You're a
he dragged me
fraud.
into to do the same thing again.
You're a nobody.
That's just an echo of the violence and
You're
the abuse
nondescript.
that I suffered within our relationship.
You
The
entangled
campaigns to have me fired, the
with
blocking me to
James
try to ruin
Franco.
my career, the threats
You
to
entangled
humiliate me globally,
with Elon
all being
Musk.
lived out in real
Both
time
of
in
them.
front of
You're
the
entangled
In.
with a minimum of 28 other men
Yep.
while
You
you
en-
were married.
No
You
further
entangled.
questions. Thank you so much, Amber.
A minimum of 28 other men in Johnny's townhouse. Not your townhouse. They were Johnny's before he met you.
I think this is the end of evidence. I think
Your
we've
go
reached
digging ass
the end
friends
of evidence. But
lived for
Amber
free
Heard wanted to give her own closing
in
argument.
Johnny's
I wanna know what happened in the gallery to get the
penthouses.
judge to admonish the gallery so
Because
strongly.
he's such a nice
The
guy.
gallery has to be mindful.
Huh?
Because he's such a
their
nice guy.
reactions
Because he's such a nice guy.
to the jury. So
If he was gonna truly abuse you,
there are a lot
Amber,
of people
for
who
Rod,
know from
he
those
would
that
not
have been there
want
in person,
none
largely
of
Johnny
your
Depp fans,
friends
and
or
it would be
family
very difficult
around.
if one of those fans in the gallery
If he
did
really was
something
going
or
to
said
abuse you,
something
knowing that
that
they
impacted this
literally
jury in a way that could upset
all
this case after
had a
6
master
weeks and
key
likely tens of millions
to all
dollars
of
in
the
litigation,
penthouses.
that would be wild.
Why would
So,
he beat you knowing that they could key
thank
in?
you. Grant, no need
That's
to
all
be
I'm saying.
offended. I think Amber Heard absolutely feels the pain of a global kind of hate campaign. Whether that was orchestrated by Johnny Depp or not is for the jury to decide. But there's no denying that that is in fact going on online. What it's caused by is really the question here. What I've
Causation
always
is
said throughout
you.
this trial, the parts
Exactly.
of Amber Heard's testimony that rang the most true to me is when she is talking about her career, when she's talking about the negative impacts of her career, and when she's talking about her reputation online. Whether that's
You know
attributable
Dante
to the
is
statements she's suing over
You
is the
found
big
the-
question.
Yep.
But I
Explain it.
absolutely believe that we've
You
seen it
had
throughout
your
this trial.
friends
What
help
Lie.
you out,
talk
lie.
about on social media.
Put
We have
fake
seen
bruises
the
on you.
against her. So I absolutely
You
believe that she
threw a ball
feels
that took your
angry
tip and
and
Johnny's
hurt
finger
and
off.
frustrated by all of that.
You did
The
this.
cause of that
You
is what the jury
did
is going to
that.
have to decide.
You. Now, what's the common
Is the judge gonna say we
denominator
come
in
to the
all
close
of
of
it?
evidence, ladies and gentlemen? Did she
It's
just close
you.
her laptop?
You.
You.
The counterclaimant Amber Heard rests. All right, thank you, ma'am. In this matter, what I propose doing is to go ahead and give you the rest of the afternoon off, so you can have a
Thanks,
good
Judge.
restful afternoon and evening, and we will do closing arguments tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
p.m., and then the case will be submitted to you for deliberations. Just to give you a little logistics of how that will go. Tomorrow, I won't give you a time limit as far as how long you can deliberate in the afternoon into the evening. I will tell you, within reason, I will tell you I do not serve dinner, so keep that in mind, okay? You will not be deliberating on Saturday or Sunday or on Monday, because Monday is a holiday. I would like you to have you back here Tuesday morning, at least by 9 o'clock. If you want to come earlier, that's up to you. You can decide as a group if you want to come earlier than 9 o'clock, but you have to be here at least by 9 o'clock just to resume your deliberations again. And again on Tuesday night, and if you have to go to Wednesday or Thursday, that the time that when you take your breaks is up to you, as long as you take them together, as far as not having any deliberations unless all of the jurors are in the room at the same time. When you take your lunch is up to you. And then again in the evening, within reason, I'll let you go as long as you'd like to go. Okay? So have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay? Do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research.
Wow. And with that, we are at the end. All that's left is closing arguments.